Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We're back on the Cummins today. We're getting our block ready and prepared to put the head back on it and slap this motherfucker back in the truck because I'm ready to drive this bitch. Alright, I'm gonna be myself today. Sick of just being boring. This is gonna have a lot of tech tips, so prepare yourself for some boredom. I'm gonna try to make it interesting, try to be myself, because being professional. We're O-ringing the block. Now, many of y'all don't know what O-ringing is. What it does is you cut a groove in the block, you put a piece of this copper ring in here, and once you compress the head gasket back on here, this O-ring is going to press itself up against the fire ring of the head gasket. What's the fire ring of the head gasket? Every head gasket has a fire ring on it. This is what keeps all the compression inside the cylinder right here. Now that O-ring is going to squish itself, squish a line right in the middle of that, to keep more combustion and pressure inside that cylinder so it doesn't blow through this head gasket. This is a must-have for people pushing about 600 horsepower on compound, 700 on a single. Honestly, I probably should have done this a long time ago, but what I got to do this is an isky groove-o-matic. This sucker is schwanky as fuck. It's $320 right now. You know, with inflation and COVID and all that. I got this from Jegs. I'm probably going to use this a lot because we're probably going to build this motor behind me. So I'm going to show you how this works. It's pretty interesting. I know there's a couple of videos on YouTube that shows you how to do it, but I'm going to show you how I do it. Alright, now this is it right here. I got my carbide bit loose, supposedly. There you go. Loosey-goosey. This nut on top pushes these out, which centers it on the bore of the cylinder that you're working on. This is a carbide bit. This is what cuts the groove. This nut adjusts these to self-center it. And this moves outward, you know, this moves down. But what I got here is 3 25, holy f***. I cut these in 4, put them in corners. Oh, we need some lubrication. Yummy.
Yummy.
That. All right. We're gonna start with 25 thousandths. Make sure that's snug down on that tine. Now we're gonna tighten up our bit here. 25, 25. All right, now we got that done. We just start cutting. All right, you can hear that our groove is finally cut at 25 thousandths. All right, we got it sitting on top of our 5 thousandths gauges. We pop this thing down. All right, we got our finishing cut done. I'm gonna get this little bit of wire, make it nice and flat. Now, we smash it in. I use the handle of a screwdriver. This stuff is relatively smooth, so All right, now we're gonna mark our spot with this file where we have to cut. I like to make sure I got a little extra. Very, very easily. If you do it too hard, then it's gonna mushroom the end of it. File that down a little more. All right, a little more filing. Look at that gap, baby. What gap? Baby gap, baby. Ain't got none. Ain't got no gap. All right, look at that. Hell yeah. Now what we're gonna do is measure the protrusion. That looks like dick. That looks like ass. This is the best way I could do it, so don't judge me. All right, so we have the injection pump timed. I put it at 22 degrees. I know it's a little spicy. This is the power-driven diesel timing set. Pretty much just a magnetic degree wheel. It is phenomenal. I use some welding wire. There's plenty of videos on how to use this and how to time your injection pump. 22 degrees. Now I really have to secure that dowel pin, and that's the last thing keeping me from putting the timing cover on and such. But for now, I'm anxious to get this head on. I have everything cleaned off. There's the finished product with all the O-rings. Super excited. So let's get this finally clean. Just a quick. Oh man, I got a mess around here. My goodness. All right, so here's my aftermarket Pro Max head. I have cleaned it and such. I took it to the machine shop and I actually got the valve guides knurled. I know it's an old school trick. Some of you may not like it, but we're gonna try it out because it's our only choice. I only have 2,000 miles on this head. Look how big those exhaust ports are. Now these are port matched to the gasket. It's going to do one of two things. It's probably going to lower the velocity of the exhaust gases. But honestly, I think it's going to do a lot of good. It's going to flow really well. I did clean up the intake. I did clean up the bowls a little bit. I know it's a little shoddy. I smoothed them out a little bit. I blended all the bowls. It looks really nice. Now, obviously, this still has the intake shelf on it, so I can't do port work on the other side. But realistically, port work on the intake side will only do so good in the higher RPMs, and we're not going higher RPMs. I opened up the exhaust to hopefully spool faster. I think it'll work out good. The deck surface is flat. You know, it has 2,000 miles on it, never been overheated. Alright, so my phone died, lost track of time last night, and I made a lot of progress, but unfortunately I got home late, you know. But we have the head on, it's torqued down, fuel lines ran, and the exhaust manifold on. Look at this hardware right here. I got this from Power Driven Diesel. These lock in place, and they keep them from loosening, which is a common problem on big power Cummins, especially on compounds. Rockers are on. I really need to adjust the valve lash. We'll do that tomorrow night. The intake horn is on, and ooh, still a little wet. I cut the elephant ear off. Look how stupid that looks. So I cut it off, made it look nice, smooth. Fuel lines are on. I think I already said that. Our filter is on. I really want to run it fast so I don't have to run that ugly little thing anymore and get some bigger fuel lines, but we'll do that later. Right now, I really just need my truck going. All right, so the Suncoast torque converter is in. Wiring's tucked away. It's a little dusty. We'll clean that later. Motor's in the air. I am spraying some spots that we missed while my wife gets here to help me film me putting this motor in. It's on the forklift. I know it's cheating. Screw y'all. Much more easy.
I'm trying to not trip over anything. I couldn't see anything. Oh my gosh.
One man show, baby.
This is not good. Oh.
I got this. I got this.
Oh.
That's not what I wanted.
Is that normal?
Top right corner with the left stick. Very slowly. But hurry up. Only diagonal. Very slowly. Alright, stop. Yeah, you did good. Alright. She's almost done. Got a couple of bell housing bolts to do and a torque converter. I'm procrastinating on that for some reason. Then we're going to install our transmission coolers. Procrastinating on that too. That should have been done a long time ago. But she's almost done. I'm pretty excited. Let's keep on pumping. I'm skipping all the boring stuff and see if we can crank this thing up today. All right, she is all done. We're going to go for a test drive before we put the hood on it. You never know, I might have to take the motor back out again, you know, with my luck. But let's go to O'Reilly's, drop off these parts. Oh man, porting that head and exhaust made this sound so much better. Here we go. Oh my gosh. All right, so we have some issues. I gotta still hook up my AFC Live, so we don't have all the power that we should have. Also don't have overdrive. I don't know what's up with that. I put a new overdrive solenoid in there and wiring and all that, so I have no clue. It's a brand new transmission. Ain't got a clue. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't want to pull it out and take it to the same guy because there's no billet parts in there like I asked for. So yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah.